I want to tell you about Bob. Bob wants to get in great shape, he wants to learn more languages. He's really a man of ambition, but he's also insanely lazy. I mean, cool, you have all these goals, but how about you get your ass off the couch, stop fantasizing and actually start doing something? Oh, and don't get me started about Sarah. Yeah, she's kinda lonely and wants to have more friends. But then whenever someone invites her to hang out, she never shows up. Oh, what if I go and people won't like me? What if they think I'm a boring loser? So in the end, she chooses the comfort of her own home and doesn't really go anywhere. Oh, and then you have Maria. She's really the worst of them all. She always... Sorry to interrupt, Seb, but we're not here to talk about your friends. We're here to talk about you. Yeah, I know, but I just want to tell you about them. I'm just so curious, like, what's going on in their brains that they keep getting in their own way? Seb, have you ever thought to consider that what you don't like about others is secretly something you despise about yourself? You despise about yourself. Despise about yourself. Despise. Oh, what if I go and people won't like me? What if they think I'm a boring loser? Luckily, it was just a bad dream. But sadly, it's also based on real life. Self-sabotage is when you're intentionally or unintentionally hindering your own success or happiness. And I'm pretty good at that. Every single time I start to get into a good habit of exercising and eating healthy, I somehow just stop. From one day to the next, I go from going to the gym to spending my evenings laying on the couch eating chips and chocolate. I've also been trying to learn Chinese and consistently make YouTube videos. But when I have the most free time available, I end up doing the least. Then I have loads of time on a long weekend or a holiday and I just spend it browsing YouTube or playing some stupid mobile game. And similar to Sarah, I kind of want to have a more exciting social life. But on the other hand, I don't really want to leave the house. And I'm also kind of afraid that people will see me as this kind of like boring dude that no one wants to hang out with anyway. Lately, these self-destructive thoughts have become pretty bad, so I started wondering, why do we self-sabotage and how can we overcome it? According to psychologist Judy Ho, life gets in the way. If you have a low or shaky self-concept, you believe your current self is far removed from who you want to be, and this can result in a lack of confidence. You might even be feeling like you're not deserving of good things.
That's why we don't have nice things, Pepper.
Get out!
When we're young, we tend to adopt the beliefs and behaviors of those around us. You know, maybe you got a few bad grades, and before you know it, your teacher is labeling you as the dumb kid. The more you hear people say you won't perform well in school, the more likely you are to internalize those beliefs and act accordingly. Maybe you hate your job with a passion, but find it difficult to quit. Sure, it's less than ideal, but at least it's familiar. You know what to expect, and you know you get a paycheck every month. A fear of the unknown might be holding you back. From an evolutionary perspective, it makes sense we want to control everything around us to make sure we're not in any danger. But if we take this too far in the modern era, we can get in our own way. Perhaps you moved around a lot as a kid and felt very much out of control. To regain a sense of stability, you might have developed a strong sense to regain as much control around you as possible. And now I'd like you to take a second and think about which aspects of life seem to cause you the most issues. And I kind of feel like I have an issue with everything, but especially with having a low self-concept. So now that it's a bit more clear why we self-sabotage, how can we prevent it? Disruptive Donkey here. Small disclaimer, this is kind of the blind leading the blind. But from what I've read, it's really important to examine the areas in your life where you feel you are self-sabotaging and what negative beliefs and negative patterns are consistently showing up there. Okay, so let's go back to the topic of wanting to make more friends. if I dig really deep, then one of the core negative beliefs I have is people don't like the real me. As a kid, I was quiet, really quiet. And in part that's because I'm pretty introverted, but also because I was so scared of saying the wrong thing. Like I still remember like the teacher asking me a question when I was maybe like 6 years old and me raising my hand in confidence, but then getting the answer wrong. And I felt so embarrassed that I don't think I voluntarily answered the question for like the next 10 years. Because I was so quiet, people just started pretending as if I wasn't there. You know, they just start talking past you like, oh, Seb doesn't say anything anyway, no need to acknowledge his existence.
You're a wallflower. What is it? What's wrong?
I didn't think anyone noticed me.
Yeah, that just made me really feel like no one likes hanging out with me, no one likes who I am. Another negative core belief I have is I always give up on my goals. Or if I would phrase it even more bluntly, I'm a failure. I've always been a dreamer with big goals and ambitions. But if I'm being realistic, I have very little to show for it. I even struggle to think of something I've done that I'm truly proud of. And it is true that I've had a lot of goals in the past, but often I give up on them very quickly. Another one is my body is messed up and I'll never be healthy. Because since I was 13 years old, I've had a lot of issues with my back, and I've seen countless of physiotherapists, chiropractors, osteopaths, but nothing really seemed to work. And as a result, I really got this mindset like, why even bother, you know, trying to be healthy, because it's not gonna work anyway. My body is messed up. And there have been times where I've been really good about exercising every day, really trying to be better. And then after a while, I quit. And sometimes it's because I got a small injury, but maybe it's also because I have these core beliefs going around in my head. They're saying like, you're lazy, you always give up, your body is messed up, there's no need to put in any effort. So then you list out all your negative core beliefs and start asking yourself questions. Where could this belief be coming from? Is this a truthful statement? Well, I got a great girlfriend and she seems to like me. And yeah, I have like one close friend who I get along with great. So maybe it's not that I'm unlikable, but just that I should put myself out there more. And there are gonna be a lot of people I don't really vibe with, and a few I could become great friends with. You know, while it is true that in the past I've often been quick to give up on my goals, you know, that doesn't need to define me. I'm very creative, I like trying out a bunch of different things, and that means that sometimes I'll stop doing them after a few weeks. But also have to be mindful that for more long-term goals, I need to implement a bit more structure. And I've had my fair share of physical issues, but nothing that can't be overcome. You know, I am the person that is healthy and exercises every single day, even if just for a few minutes. It's easy to judge others and see where they go wrong, but it's also difficult to examine our own thought patterns and behaviors to find out where we're sabotaging our own happiness. And you don't have to do this by yourself. Try discussing it with friends or family, or maybe go to a therapist to talk about it. To overcome these negative thoughts and behavioral patterns, it is extremely important to start building positive habits. You have to start realizing that you are not your core negative beliefs. But not only cognitively, you have to prove it to yourself by taking action. Every single time I do a pull-up, I believe more and more I can be healthy. Every single time I go out and have a nice conversation with someone, I realize I'm not unlikable. And every single time I set a small goal and achieve it, I'm erasing the memory of me giving up in the past. To help with this, I can really recommend reading Atomic Habits. To learn more about setting up support systems that can help you in building positive habits, in showing up every single day and work towards the person you want to be. Because I know how exhausting it can be to carry all this baggage inside your head, and the only thing you want to do is to escape by drowning yourself in meaningless tasks. But I just wish so much better for you.